Alright everyone, welcome back.
それにどうもこれを交換条件にしている節がある。断ったらセイバーをうちに住ませるって約束を破棄されそうだ。そうなったら俺たち外で野宿するしかないぞ。
それも困る。この屋敷の結界は優れていますから拠点としては申し分ないのです。ここにいる限りシローは敵の奇襲に備えられます。
そうか。ならなおさら我慢してくれ。屋敷にいる限り何かあってもすぐに合流できるだろう。その藤姉の相手は大変だけど困ったら日本語わかりませんって言えばいい。
ほらそこ、内緒話は禁止なんだから。そういうわけでセイバーちゃんはこっち、シローは男の子なんだから一人でも平気よね。
Fujine pulls Saber to her. It's all decided. Saber stays approved, Fujine is staying, and Sakura is going to keep them company as well. The population here has increased drastically in just one day. This place really is like a hotel now. It's bedtime. The lights finally go out in the noisy tatami-floored room and silence returns. They say it gets noisy wherever women gather, and I guess that holds true even for the quiet Saber and Sakura.
いや違うか。メインで聞こえてきたのは藤姉の笑い声だもんな。
But still, it's true that it was loud in that room. It's not good for my mental health to have girls my age being rowdy in the same house.
くそ、気になって眠気なんてなくなった。
Things like Saber's troubled face, if Saber and Sakura are getting along, and whether Fujine is thinking at all or not. I get a headache the more I think about them. If it's like this, it might have been better to have Saber sleep in the room next to mine. It's 11 o'clock. The lights are out and the house is dead silent. I quietly make my way to the door so I won't wake them up. I go outside. The moon is bright and the wind is cold. Under the winter sky, the world is silent as if frozen. It's quiet inside the shed. This is the place where Lancer cornered me last night. This is also the place where Saber appeared. The entrance is open and it's dark inside, as if to drive away anybody that might enter. I go inside. I shut the door to keep the air out and turn on the stove.
日に200以上の矢をかけろか。
The teaching of archery focuses on accuracy, piercing, strength, and endurance. Accuracy is how well one can hit the target. Piercing strength is the power to pierce the target. And endurance is to maintain the accuracy and piercing strength. I think there was something in an archery manual. Something about continuing forever after one masters the true meaning of archery. And how one should shoot more than 200 arrows a day.
マスターとして何をするべきかわからないなら、せめて魔術だけは鍛えないと。
I sit down and take a deep breath. I adjust my breathing and start my usual training. My mind imagines the same thing. An image of a sword that pops into my brain. I ignore it and clear my head even more. After letting magical energy flow throughout my body, I start the strengthening magic like always. The magic that I succeeded at for the first time in a few years last night. I have to repeat it before I forget the sensation.
トレースオン。
I narrow my eyes and breathe out. That's all for now. I'll forget about the Holy Grail War, Saber, and Tosaka once I start this process. I clear my head from all hesitations. But during the process, the thought that Tosaka might be doing the same training never escapes my head. Interlude 4-1 Unlimited Blade Works. She goes to the darkness, a desolate night. She enters the room from the dark hallway. This is a room in a building somewhere. There are about 50 workers here. Most are male, and all of them are scattered about like puppets with their strings cut off. She grits her teeth. The darkness is helping her as she cannot see well. The air in this room is filled with the rotten smell of plant.
何の子だろうこれ。あーちゃん、 あなたわかる？
Opening the door in the window, she asks someone behind her. There's no one there, but there is a presence thicker than air behind her.
魔女の難攻だろう。セリカの愛を破壊するとかいうやつかな。
それって毒人参でしょ？愛を破壊って。ああ、そういうこと。男に何か怨恨でもあるのかしらね、この惨状の仕掛け人は。
だとすると相手は女かな。いや、何の恨みがあるか知らんが、サーバントになってまで八つ当たりするとは根が深い。
能書きはいいから窓を開けて。倒れてる連中はまだ息があるか。この分だと今から連絡するのも朝になって発見されるのも変わらない。用が済んだら手早く離れるわよ、あっちゃ。
She opens the windows and treats those who are in especially bad condition. After that, she leaves the room.
服クリーニングに出さないと。
She sniffs her coat. She didn't touch it in particular, but her coat smells like rusted iron. The room was sealed, and the floor of that room was covered in blood that the people threw up. The presence behind her takes form. What appears behind her, Tosaka-rin, is a knight in red. It is Archer who is protecting her in spirit form.
それでやはり流れは竜道寺か。
そうね。奪われた世紀はみんな山に流れていってる。神都で起きてる昏睡事件はほぼ竜道寺にいるマスターの仕業よ。マスターがどれだけのやつか知らないけど、こんなのは人間の手に余る。可能だとしたらキャスターのサーバントだけでしょ。
竜道寺に救う魔女か。となると昨夜は失態を演じたな。
失態？バーサーカーと引き分けたこと？あれは最善だったと思うけど。
どうかな。キャスターがそれほど広範囲な網を張っているのなら、昨夜の戦いも盗み見ていただろう。にもかかわらずバーサーカーを倒せず、セイバーさえ見逃し、こちらは手の内を晒してしまった。これのどこが最善だ。
He speaks sarcastically, but Rin does not answer him. It's not a mistake that she made Berserker retreat and help Saber. And most of all, Archer has not shown the full scope of his power yet. Last night, it's true that the arrow of Archer fired stopped Berserker, but Rin has yet to figure out its true identity, the identity of that powerful noble phantasm.
リン、
No, she knows the principle behind it. That was just a bomb. He just exploded the bomb called the Noble Phantasm in front of his enemy. It does not need to be said how extraordinary that was. That was a one-time explosion of magical energy using the strongest phantasm possible. Broken Phantasm, that is the name of the Noble Phantasm this knight in red possesses.
リン、
But it is too strange. A servant only wields one Noble Phantasm, and it is a part of them that they had for their whole life. What hero can possibly destroy such a thing freely?
リン、
It's not easy to fix a destroyed noble phantasm. It's like committing suicide for a servant to destroy his noble phantasm.
リン、
In other words, Archer abandoned his strongest weapon when he still had 6 more enemies he needed to defeat. No, first of all, he destroyed the proof of his heroism under his own will. It's so crazy that other servants would faint from shock if they would find out about this.
リン。
何？ごめん、聞いてなかった。
今夜はこれからどうすると聞いたのだ。先ほどの戦闘で疲れているだろうし、大事を取って戻らないかとな。
Rain clenches her fists at Archer's words. The previous battle, bone golems that were swarming in the hallway, she defeated them all by herself. She did not need Archer's help, nor did she want it. Most of all, she felt anger towards the enemy who was breaking the Magi's rule of not involving innocent people. That's why she destroyed them. She mercilessly eliminated every one of them. She did not show any sympathy, even if those bones could have been a living person just hours ago. She did not suffer any wounds from the battle, except one. Since she fought while suppressing her nausea, she cut her lip from biting down on it.
キャスターを追うわ。気配はまだ残っているんでしょ？竜道寺に逃げられる前に型をつける。
何？驚いたな。できないと思ったことはやらないのが君の主義ではなかったか？
そうよ。私、結果が分かりきっていることはできない。けどこれは別でしょ。今から追いかければ尻尾ぐらいはつかめるだろうし。何より
喧嘩を売らなければ気が済まないか。やれやれ。倒しやすい相手を放っておいて最も倒しがたい相手を追うとは。
いいのよ、セイバーのことは放っておいて。あんなのはいつだって始末できるんだから、別に目の敵にする必要ないじゃない。ちゃんとおとなしくしているんなら無理に手を出すこともないわ。あいつが家に隠れている分には見逃してあげるだけよ。
ほう。ではあのマスターが目の前にいれば話は違うのかな。例えば未だマスターとしての自覚もないままエミやシローの方から君の前に現れたとしたら。
His words are meant to test her. Looking down at the night town.
殺すわ。そんなこともわからないやつにかける義理なんてない。
Tosaka Rin answers as if convincing herself. We're in the 4th of February now. Bonnie and Clyde. This is a story from a winter 5 years ago. It was a night with a beautiful moon. I wasn't doing anything, just watching the moon with Kiritsugu. Even though it was winter, the air wasn't cold. The corridor was a little chilly, but it was a good night to enjoy the moon. Back then, Kiritsugu didn't leave the house often. Not going outside, he would just laze around the house carelessly. I regret it even now, thinking back to it. Why didn't I notice that it was like the actions of an animal that knows its time of death?
子供の頃、僕は正義の味方に憧れてた。
Suddenly, that man himself, a superhero in my child's eyes, said that as if yearning for it.
なんだよそれ。憧れてたって諦めたのかよ。
I became angry and asked him. Kiritsugu laughed apologetically and looked up at the sky.
残念ながらね。ヒーローは期間限定で、大人になると名乗るのが難しくなるんだ。そんなこともっと早くに気がつけばよかった。
I agreed with that. I didn't know why, but I thought he couldn't be wrong because Kiritsugu said so.
そっか。それじゃしょうがないな。
そうだね。本当にしようがない。
Kiritsugu answers. So of course my response was determined.
しょうがないから俺が代わりになってやるよ。じいさんは大人だからもう無理だけど、俺なら大丈夫だろ。任せろって。じいさんの夢は俺がちゃんと形にしてやるから。
Before I could finish, my father laughed. He made a face like he didn't even need to hear the rest. After breathing in, Emiya Kiritsugu said,
ああ。安心した。
He quietly closed his eyes, and his life ended. That is the story from a winter 5 years ago. It was a parting that determined the course of Emiya Shiro's life. It was the night that Emiya Shiro decided to become a superhero. There's no way I can forget it. I never said it, but I clearly remember it. The figure of the man who saved the boy who was left to the fire. Emiya Kiritsugu held up the dying child and said thank you. He said, I'm thankful that I found you. He made a big smile and thanked someone as if he was saved by rescuing someone. The emotion I felt back then is still engraved in my mind. Nobody saved me. I couldn't save anybody. In it all, I was saved, and a person was there to save me. That's why I decided to become like him. Become a superhero so that I could save people and let no one be killed, just like him. Even if it may be a childlike fantasy, I yearn to become one. And thus, Kiritsugu, the embodiment of my dream, died peacefully, leaving me his dream of becoming a superhero himself. It's only natural for a child to succeed his father. And Shirou must become a superhero and save someone just like the old me. I swore so as a child, to fulfill the dream of a man I admired most. But to be honest, I'm still wondering if my idea is the right one, where my idea comes from, what I can do even despite me being just an amateur. How to make the dream of making everybody happy, which Kiritsugu always talked about, come true. Oh, and what I can do now that I'm a master. There are just so many things that my head's going to explode. I wake up from that familiar dream. Bright morning sunlight is coming in from the window. I feel a bit chilly, but I guess it wasn't bad enough for me to catch a cold.
参った。またここで眠っちまったのか。
I shake my head and change into my uniform. It's a bit before 6 o'clock. I bet Sakura's already up and preparing breakfast. I go outside and breathe in the fresh air. It's a nice morning. It'd be much more comfortable if there weren't 3 girls in the house.
あ、訂正。女の子は2人だけだった。
I don't want to classify Fujine as a girl. Anyway, now. Go see how Saber's doing. I'll go help Sakura. I'll go and wake Fujine up. Okay. Let's save. Let's save first. Alright, we'll check on Saber. I have to go see how Saber's doing. It seems Saber's rather sociable, so I think she would have been alright with the other two. But still, I'm worried.
セイバー起きてるよな。
Then there's only one place she can be. Sakura's in the living room, so Saber should be in the dojo. Saber's in the dojo as I expected.
シロ、どうしたのです？まだ起床には早いと思いますが。
いや、俺はこのぐらいが普通なんだ。飯の支度があるから。
そうなのですか。驚いた。随分と早起きなのですね、あなたは。
It must have been really unexpected as she looked surprised.
まあ、早起きの部類には入るかな。けど、おかしなことを気にするんだな。セイバー、俺が寝坊するタイプだと思ってたのか？
いえ、失言でした。タイガがまだ眠っていますし、エミヤの家の者は皆朝に弱いのだろうと早合点してしまった。
ああ、納得。藤姉の寝ぼすけっぷりは半端じゃないからな。
I get it now. Come to think of it, Saber and Sakura were sleeping in the same room with Fujine. I bet it was hard for them to sleep peacefully.
それより、おはよう、セイバー。昨日はよく眠れたか？
はい、十分に。昨日は戦闘もありませんでしたし、疲労は全くありません。
そりゃよかった。てっきり眠れていないのかと思ってさ。藤ね、寝相悪かっただろう。昨日は遅くまで騒いでいたようだし、あんまり騒がしいようだったら俺から行って部屋を別にさせるけど、どうする
？I proposed, thinking that Saber might not like being with Fujine.
いいえ、その必要はありません。問題がない限り、タイガの提案を飲みたいと思います。
そうなのか？いや、そうしてもらえるとこっちも助かるんだけど。
Is it just me or is there intimacy in Saber's voice?
セイバー、藤姉のことを気に入ったのか？
ええ、大河はいい人柄です。あれほど人に偽らず、人に騙されない人間は稀です。彼女が監督をしていたと聞いて、シロウの素直さがとても納得できた。
喜んでいいのかどうか微妙な評価だな、それ。
褒めているのです。まだ短い時間ですが、彼女のことはよくわかりましたから。
I see. I agree that Fujin is easy to understand. The problem is after that whether you can understand her logic or not. That's a whole different story.
それじゃあさくらとも仲良くできただろう。さくらは藤姉に輪をかけて毒がないからな。
それはそうなのですが、私には彼女を把握できません。敵意というほどではないのですが、まだ警戒されているという感があります。
じゃあさくらとはまだ話してないのか？
いいえ、さくらとも和解しました。シロウの言う通り、彼女も大河同様優しい人柄ですから。
なんだ、なら問題ないじゃないか。
I sigh with relief. I don't want to know why she used the phrase made peace, but it seems she became friends with Fujine and Sakura. I'm sure all the problems in this house are solved now. Everyone says Itadaikama. Oh man, I always mess that. Itadaikamasu. Ah! Everyone says itadakimasu. There you go. Let's try that one more time. Everyone says itadakimasu. This is the first time I've had breakfast in a group of 4, and it feels rather relaxing.
あれ、これ微妙に薄味だな。出汁変えたのか、さくら？
セイバーさん、お味噌汁に慣れてないと思って。あんまりお味噌が濃いのもダメかなって。
そうですね。昨夜の味付けより今朝の方が美味しいと思う。ですがさくら、私も和風の食事には慣れていますから、そう気を使わず自由に調理してください。その方がお互いのためになる。
そうなんですか？わあ、ちゃんとお箸持ててる。びっくりしました。セイバーさんって器用なんですね。
慣れていますから。ですが正直に言うと箸は疲れます。フォークやナイフより優れた道具だとは思うのですが。
そうだね。セイバーちゃんはお箸よりナイフとフォークだよね。それ違う。かけるのはソースじゃなくて醤油。
なるほど。忠告感謝します。
よしよし。報酬として海苔を1枚いただきましょう。はい、白おかわり。
はい。食いすぎて二度寝するなよ。
先生、今日の朝練に参加されるなら少し控えた方がいいと思いますけど。
大丈夫。これぐらい入れておかないとお昼まで持たないもの。そういうさくらちゃんだって朝練の後におにぎり食べてるじゃない。
先生、知ってたんですか？
無ふり。端っこでこそこそやってるから気になって観察してたのよ。ダメよ、いい年頃の女の子が朝2食なんて。悪魔はこっそりとある日テロリストのように体重計に舞い降りるんだから私の読みではさくらちゃんの今の体重は
ダメです先生。言ったらもうご飯作りに来ませんから。
チェ。
それに間食は時々だけです。いつもそんなことしてるわけじゃありません。
I can picture Sakura like in the corner hiding or trying to hide and just like munching on rice balls or whatever. Secretly, knowing full well that everyone can see her.
あれ、そうなのか？朝飯いつもイチゴ多く炊かれてたから、てっきりさくらが握り飯でも作ってるんだろうなって思ってたんだけど。
先輩も知ってたんですか？
ダメダメさくらちゃん、シロね、そういう細かいことには妙に神経質なやつだから、きっと初めておやつを作った時から気づいてたわよ。
初めて？それって去年の夏のこと？
さくら、空中に埃でもあるのですか？そんなところで手を振って。
Poor Sakura. Breakfast proceeds like that. The breakfast table is twice as loud as usual. Then suddenly,
今朝未明に発見された被害者は50名を超え、現在は最寄りの救急病院で治療を受けており、
I see some disturbing news on the TV.
シントでまたガス漏れ？うわー、今度は50人だって。なになに？被害者には昨夜から連絡が取れず、何人かの家族は不審に思い会社に連絡、警備員に確認させたところ、社内に残っている社員はいなかったとのこと。何これ？夕方からみんなビルの中で倒れてたのに、どうして警備員が気がつかないかな？職務怠慢とかそういうレベルの話じゃないよね。
Fujine must have lost her appetite. She stops eating her third bowl of rice. Oh, third bowl. Look at that. Saber's watching the news with an intense expression. In that case, I'm not mistaken. I don't know the motive, but this is something that's done by a master. I can say it's fortunate that nobody died just like all the other gas leak incidents.
もう物騒だな。シロ、しばらくシントでアルバイトするのは禁止だからね。貯金ならたくさんあるんだから、こんな時ぐらいゆっくりしなさい。
I'm happy that she's worried about me, but I can't reply to her. I know this is no time to be working, but I'm sure I won't be able to come home as often now that I'm in a war. Then, if I'm ever late, I'll have to lie to them that I'm working. After finishing the cleanup, I go to the front door. Fujine and Sakura already left for their morning practice. Saber is following me like she did yesterday, but I can't let her do so today. The weekends are fine, but there's no way I can take her to school on a weekday.
セイバー、言っとくけどここまでだぞ。学校に行っている間はここにいてくれ。セイバーと一緒に学校に行ったら騒ぎが大きくなるし、何より目立つ。マスターは人目につくのは避けるべきなんだろ？
That look again, oh my god. She must not agree as she protests silently.
だから大丈夫だって。人気があるところでは襲われないんだから、学校は安全だ。それにさ、身を守るだけなら俺一人でもなんとかなる。
As often is the case, Shirou always tends to be wrong when it comes to him being alone. But we'll find out soon enough. Yeah, Saber has every right to be worried. Saber's brow twitches. She must have some arguments about me being able to protect myself.
一つ尋ねますが、それはシロを一人で敵を倒せるという意味ですか？
まさか。昼間なら一人でも危険を回避できるってことだ。人気のないところには近づかないし、日が落ちる前に帰ってくる。それならセイバーも納得がいくだろ？お前だって魔力を温存するために休んでなくちゃいけないんだから、無理してついてくることはない。
わかりました。マスターがそう言うのなら、私は信じざるを得ませんね。
Saber lets out a sigh as her shoulders slump. She's seriously worried about me. I feel bad about turning her down.
悪い、セイバー。けど大丈夫だって。それにさ、俺の身に何かあったらセイバーにも伝わるんだろ？もしそうなったら駆けつけてくれればいいじゃないか。
いいえ、そうはいかないでしょう。私とシローのつながりは細い。マスターの危機が私に伝わるときは、シローの命そのものが危うくなっているときだ。 そうなってから駆けつけても遅すぎる。